The Black Mamba. If you ever find yourself walking through the dry savanna of sub-Saharan Africa, this is the one name the locals say quietly. It moves at up to 12 miles an hour, which doesn't sound fast until it's coming toward you and you're wearing sandals. But here's the thing about the name. It isn't black at all. The only black on it is the inside of its mouth, an inky gape it flashes as a last warning before it commits. Its venom is a fast-acting neurotoxin, a cocktail of dendrotoxins that jam the potassium channels in your nerves, making them misfire and then fail entirely. It can cover the length of a school bus in about a second, outrun a person over open ground, and start dimming your nervous system before you've driven halfway to the nearest hospital. Now, most people picture the mamba as an aggressive monster that chases people across the veldt. But that reputation comes almost entirely from defensive displays, usually just a panicked snake bolting for its burrow, which you happen to be standing between. It's not the most venomous snake alive. It's just the one that gives you the least time to think about it. The moment those fangs land, a clock starts, and the mamba runs it faster than anything else on the continent. The King Cobra. Across the forests of South and Southeast Asia, this is the snake that can genuinely look a standing adult in the eye when it rears up, 18 feet of it at the extreme end. But the number that matters here isn't the length, it's how much venom rides on a single bite. This is the longest venomous snake on Earth, and when it feels cornered, it lifts a third of its entire body straight off the ground, hood spread, watching you. It spends its whole life hunting and eating other snakes, basically the reptile world's most committed specialist. The venom, drop for drop, isn't the most potent on this list, but the sheer volume it injects is enormous, several hundred milligrams in one determined bite, enough to bring down an elephant. When enough of those neurotoxins arrive at once, your diaphragm simply stops getting the message to breathe, and untreated, that respiratory failure can set in somewhere between half an hour and a couple of hours. Something that can look you in the eye standing up really should not also be able to do that. So the record here isn't the venom's strength, it's how much of it decides to arrive all at once. Toxicity is just the ammunition. What actually kills you is how fast it gets delivered. The eastern brown snake. This one lives exactly where Australians live, in the farms and the suburbs and the garden sheds, and it kills more people in Australia than any other snake, precisely because it's always right there. And it looks like the single most forgettable snake you could possibly imagine. That's the whole problem. Somewhere along the line, nature handed this thing world-ending venom and the coloring of a garden hose. It's the second most venomous land snake on the planet by measured toxicity. It's fast, and it's easily provoked. Its venom is a potent procoagulant, turning your own blood clotting system against you and triggering cardiac collapse with genuinely frightening speed. There are documented cases of people collapsing within minutes of the bite. Now, the common assumption is that a plain brown snake must be sluggish and harmless. The common version is exactly backwards. This drab little snake is one of the deadliest animals alive, and its sheer ordinariness is the reason people get close enough to find out. It's everywhere, it's beautifully boring, and it can stop your heart before an ambulance turns onto your street. If you're into this kind of deep dive, I post new animal videos like this regularly. Subscribing really helps. Thanks. The Coastal Taipan. Before antivenom existed, a bite from this snake was very nearly a death sentence. Full stop. And here's what sets it apart. It doesn't bite you once. Most snakes deliver a single strike and then back off to let the venom work. This one snaps forward in a rapid, machine gun series of bites, again and again, releasing and restriking. It averages a large venom yield per bite already, but it rarely stops at one, so several rapid bites stack the venom load far past what a single defensive strike would ever inject. And that venom is a double attack. Neurotoxic and procoagulant at the same time, shutting down your nervous system while your blood loses the ability to clot. Most snakes bite and then sit back and think it over, but this one commits like it's got a quota to hit. That relentless multi-bite style is built for taking down struggling mammals fast. And against a human, it just means more venom, more nerve channels jammed, and a whole lot less time. Remember the clock. The taipan doesn't just start it, it winds it forward, one rapid bite at a time. It comes at you like it's in a hurry, and in a strange way, it's doing you the courtesy of being efficient. The Philippine Cobra. This is one of the most dangerous cobras in the world, and the reason is genuinely unsettling, because at first, it feels like almost nothing at all. No dramatic swelling, no searing pain radiating up your arm, just a quiet, catastrophic countdown you might not even notice has begun. Because the thing that makes most cobra bites survivable is the exact thing this one skips. Most cobras load their venom with tissue-destroying components that cause immediate, agonizing local damage, the kind that sends you straight to a hospital. This cobra delivers a venom that's almost purely neurotoxic, skipping the whole painful local damage step and driving straight for the nerves that control your breathing. No distraction, no delay. Documented cases describe respiratory failure setting in within roughly 30 minutes, with barely any symptoms to warn the victim it was serious. A venom that forgets to hurt you is somehow far more disturbing than one that does. Most people assume every cobra bite screams at you first, that you'll obviously know it's bad. Not this one. It's the absence of pain that makes it lethal, because victims assume a minor bite and quietly waste the only window they had. The bite that hurts is the one you take seriously. This is the other kind. The Inland Taipan. On a pure toxicity scale, nothing else on land comes close. A single bite from this snake carries enough raw venom, in theory, to kill dozens of adult humans. And yet the most venomous land snake alive has killed almost nobody. One drop of its venom is enough to kill a grown human several times over. A single full bite scales that up to dozens of adults. And all of that lethal machinery is packed into a shy, retiring snake that most people will go their entire lives without ever seeing, out in the remote, cracked clay of Central Australia. Its venom is a triple threat: neurotoxins and procoagulants and myotoxins all at once, going after your nerves, your blood, and your muscle tissue simultaneously. That extreme potency exists because it hunts dense-boned desert rodents in their burrows, and needs to kill them almost instantly, before they can bite back in a cramped tunnel. Extreme pressure, extreme venom, wrapped around the personality of a shy houseguest who really would rather you left. The most lethal land venom on Earth belongs to a snake so reclusive, it barely bothers to use it. The common death adder. This one doesn't chase you. It doesn't need to. It buries itself in leaf litter and sand and waits, sometimes for days, for something to wander close. You will step right over it before you ever see it. And here's the contradiction that should worry you. It's one of the slowest moving snakes in all of Australia, and it also holds an outright speed record that's hard to believe. From perfectly still to fangs buried in flesh, and all the way back to its coiled resting position, the whole strike has been clocked at around 13/100ths of a second. A single human blink takes about a third of a second. This snake completes its entire strike in well under half of that, meaning it has already bitten you and pulled back into position before your eyelid finishes closing. It looks like a discarded piece of rope lying in the dirt, right up until the rope moves faster than your nervous system can process. The clock again, except the death adder starts it before your brain even registers that the strike happened. By the time your eyes tell you it moved, it's already done, back in place, waiting for the next thing that isn't paying attention. The saw-scaled viper. Here's the honest part, because it matters. This snake does not kill you in literal seconds. What it does instead is kill more people than almost any other snake on the planet, and it manages that by being small, unbelievably common, and incredibly easy to step on without noticing. It's barely a foot long, and it may genuinely be the deadliest snake to humanity by sheer body count, living across the dry belt from West Africa to India, right up against farmland where hundreds of millions work the ground barefoot. When it's alarmed, it rubs its rough, serrated scales together to produce a dry, rasping hiss, which is a whole lot of effort for something that could honestly just leave. Its venom is strongly hemotoxic, shredding the clotting proteins in your blood, and the death itself can take hours or even days. So the danger here really isn't about speed, it's about how common the encounter is. The old idea that the deadliest snakes are the biggest and rarest ones is just wrong. The one with the highest human death toll is small, drab, and living right next to farmland. The scariest venoms aren't the ones that scream. They're the ones that whisper until it's too late to answer. It gives you a warning you can actually hear. Most of its victims just never got the chance to listen. The Russell's viper. Across South Asia, this heavy-bodied viper is one of the so-called Big Four, the small group of snakes responsible for the overwhelming majority of human snakebite deaths in the region. Its bite is not subtle, and it's not quick to finish with you, because a single bite can go after your blood, your kidneys, and even your hormones all at the same time, in ways doctors are honestly still cataloging. It delivers a large volume of venom per puncture, a genuine cocktail of enzymes. First, they trigger runaway clotting. Then, they exhaust the clotting system entirely. Then, they turn on the organs left trying to clean up the mess, causing kidney failure and, in some documented cases, long-term damage to the pituitary gland. Follow the cascade. One defensive bite injects a large dose. That dose spreads across your blood, your kidneys, and your glands, and a single puncture wound becomes a multi-week medical emergency. Surviving a bite from this thing can basically mean signing up for weeks of grim follow-up appointments. It doesn't need to be fast. It just needs to reach enough of you at once. And it always does. The Forest Cobra. This is the largest true cobra in all of Africa, and one of the most alert and switched-on snakes you'll ever read about. Most cobras pick a lane. This one flatly refuses to. It climbs trees, it swims through rivers and swamps, and it hunts across more habitats than almost any other cobra alive, which simply means far more chances to cross paths with an unlucky human. It can push past 8 feet long, and its venom is a blended weapon, mixing potent neurotoxins with tissue-damaging components, so it comes after your nerves and your flesh at the same time. A large forest cobra can inject a substantial neurotoxic dose, and an untreated bite can march toward respiratory failure within hours. That everything on the menu venom profile makes sense, because it eats basically everything: fish and birds and mammals and other reptiles alike. A cobra that swims, climbs, and hunts absolutely everywhere is essentially the overachiever nobody asked for. Most dangerous snakes stay firmly in their lane. This one just quietly decided that every lane was its lane. The Many-Banded Krait. This is the snake behind one of the grimmest patterns in rural Asia. People bitten in their sleep who simply never wake up. Because the most terrifying part of this snake isn't how fast it kills, it's how little you feel while it does it. Its venom is powerfully neurotoxic, and here's the horror of it. The bite itself often causes little to no pain at all. Victims have been bitten while sleeping, felt almost nothing, and been found hours later fully paralyzed, the neurotoxin having quietly switched off the muscles they use to breathe. Because no pain receptors ever get triggered, there's no warning at all, just a slow, silent, creeping paralysis. A venom this polite, one that forgets to hurt you, is without question the most alarming design choice nature has ever signed off on. And this is the deadliest version of an assumption people make constantly, that a painless bite must be a harmless one. Every other snake here starts a clock you can feel ticking. The Krait's runs while you sleep, and by the time it finishes, there was never a single moment to notice it had even started. The scariest snakes aren't the ones that make you scream. They're the ones that let you drift off, quietly, wondering only much later what it was you never felt. If you made it all the way to the end of this one, you're exactly the kind of person I make these for. I post new animal deep dives like this every week, so hit subscribe and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.